What comes to your mind when you hear the name Louis Vuitton? Quality, luxury, and prestige, right? But did you know that Louis Vuitton is just a small part of a much larger empire owned by one of the richest men in the world? From the sleek curves of a Louis Vuitton purse to the smooth taste of a Hennessy cognac, everything under the LVMH umbrella screams sophistication and exclusivity. And the man leading this luxury empire is no one other than Bernard Arnault. But how did a man like Bernard amass such wealth and fortune? In this video, we're going to delve deep into the life of this remarkable man, exploring how he rose to the top of the business and fashion worlds and became the businessman he is today. From his early beginnings to his latest triumphs, we've got it all covered. So keep watching to find out. Bernard Jean-Etienne Arnault, born in 1949, had a mom who was obsessed with Dior. His dad, a smart graduate of École Centrale Paris, owned a company called Ferré-Savinel that was into construction. After going to some fancy schools, including France's top engineering school, Arnault started working for his dad. But he had bigger dreams than just building things. He convinced his dad to focus on real estate instead, and they renamed the company Farinel. Soon enough, they acquired a textile company as well, calling their real estate division the George V Group. Forwarding to the 80s, the French government was looking for someone to lead the Boussac-Saint-Frère empire, a huge textile and retail company that owned the famous Christian Dior brand. Arnault heard about this opportunity and teamed up with Antoine Bernheim, a big shot at Lazare Frères, to acquire Financière Agache, a company that specialized in luxury goods. Financière Agache under his belt, Arnault entered a bidding war and won control of Boussac-Saint-Frère. With this company as his possession, Christian Dior became his own too. As soon as he acquired the company, he needed to fix the finances and make it profitable again. So he laid off a whopping 9,000 workers in just 2 years, earning him the nickname the Terminator. Even though he was not the most loved man at that time, Arnault's tactics paid off in the end. By 1987, the company was raking in $1.9 billion in revenue, and it earned a cool $112 million in profits. He may have been ruthless by laying off 9,000 workers, but he knew how to turn a struggling business around. Not willing to take a break, and in the spirit of a grabbing everything available opportunity, Bernard Arnault teamed up with Alain Chevalier, the CEO of Moet Hennessy, and Henri Racamier, the president of Louis Vuitton, to create LVMH in 1987. It was supposed to be too big for anyone to take over, but little did they know, Arnault had his sights set on taking over the company himself. When rumors started circulating that Louis Vuitton was trying to buy up LVMH's stock and wanting to gain control, Arnault swooped in and spent a staggering amount of $600 million to become the largest shareholder. But that wasn't enough for him. He wanted to make sure no one could dismantle the company afterward, so he spent another $500 million to gain a blocking minority. This $500 million resulted in 43.5% of LVMH's shares and 35% of the voting rights. With his new power, Arnault stripped Henri Racamier of his power and took over as chairman of the executive management board. And thus began the era of Arnault's ambitious development plan. He turned LVMH into one of the largest luxury groups in the world, increasing sales and profits by a factor of 5 in just 11 years. It was like he had a magic wand that turned everything he touched into gold, or in this case, luxurious leather and champagne. 2023 got Bernard Arnault climbing the ladder to become the world's richest man, and according to Forbes, he's now worth a jaw-dropping $234.3 billion, making him just the third person in history to break this mind-boggling milestone. And get this, Arnault is not from the US, so he's the first person outside the States to join the coveted $200 billion club. With this mind-blowing amount of money, one is tempted to ask what he spends his money on. Let's find out. Arnault owns a 135-acre private island in the Bahamas called Indigo Island. Indigo Island is shrouded in secrecy and hidden from the maps. It's a top-secret location in the Exumas that keeps the identities of its esteemed guests under lock and key. The villas and main pavilion can accommodate up to 18 guests, making it a perfect location for a grand party or a relaxing getaway. And when it comes to recreation, Indigo Island will not bore you. You can hike, play tennis, water skiing, jet skiing, sailing, and more. Seems like a perfect vacation, right? Well, in case you'd like to stay here when he's not there, rates start at $26,000 per day for 8 guests and go up to $322,000 per week for 18 guests. Imagine how much Bernard would make if he rented it out all year long. When he's not soaking up the sun in his tropical paradise, he's living it up in his multi-million-dollar properties around the world. He reportedly spent a whopping $96 million on 5 homes in fancy neighborhoods in Los Angeles, Beverly Hills, and the Hollywood Hills. But his ultimate pad? His chateau-style mansion in Saint-Tropez, France. This place is so massive, it has its own theater, tennis court, and outdoor swimming pool. Plus, there are even separate living quarters for all the staff. Well, by now you should know that Arnault isn't your regular Joe with a bunch of boring books on his shelves. No, he's a high-rolling art aficionado with a collection that would make your head spin. Arnault's love for art is so great that he's managed to build an extensive collection of modern and contemporary art over the years. Despite being the wealthiest art collector in the world with his wife Hélène, Arnault is super private about his collection. Even during the opening of the Foundation Louis Vuitton in 2014, only showed fragments of his collection, and the rest remains a mystery to this day. His very first art acquisition was a 20th century painting of Charing Cross Bridge by none other than Claude Monet. And as time went by, Arnault continued to grow his collection. He has some of the biggest names in the art world hanging out in his Parisian pad, including Andy Warhol, Jean-Michel Basquiat, Damien Hirst, and Pablo Picasso. And let me tell you, these masterpieces are worth a pretty penny. We're talking millions upon millions of dollars. Can you imagine having that kind of cash to throw around on artwork? From his humble beginnings to his rise to the top of the fashion world, Arnault's story is truly inspiring. But we want to hear from you. What do you think of Bernard Arnault's success story? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. Thanks for watching.